The Seattle Seahawks play for control of the division this weekend against the Cardinals. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. It's Saturday. A lot of big college football games coming up here. It's conference championship weekend for college football, so everyone have a good time, especially if one of your teams is involved. My team is obviously not. But we've got bigger and better things going on the following day. Seahawks, it's not a game for the division, but it's a game for control of the division. Seahawks going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Whoever wins is going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. Whoever loses, not so much. In fact, if you lose this game, you've got a real uphill battle for the rest of the season. So, a lot to talk about with this one. This video will be powered by BetUS. Talk about them a little bit later. But we got to understand here that we are the only thing that stands between the Cardinals and the division, it feels like. You look at the Cardinals' remaining schedule, they are very likely to win most, if not all, of their games after this one. They have some easy games coming up. They have some games where the matchups seem to favor them coming up. And if they end up running the table after this game, it will not surprise me. So you got to take care of them. And I don't want to be in a situation where I'm sitting here down the stretch during the last month of the season hoping that the Patriots or I think the Panthers can knock them off. That's the bottom line. So if you lose this game, you are more than likely going to watch helplessly as Arizona cruises to a division title. So take care of them now, own that tiebreaker, and you'll have enough margin for error to get through. You win this game, it's actually really hard to imagine Arizona winning the division at that point because you would have the 2-game lead and the tiebreaker locked up with 4 games left. So in terms of Arizona and Seattle's season, feels like everything's on the line. Of course, we still got to think about the Niners a little bit. And of course, we've still got the Rams. Don't get me wrong. It's not over. But if you take care of business in this game, you will be poised to clean up the rest of the way. And you're not going to have to do anything crazy to do it. You just have to go out there, take care of business, and win the games you should. So we saw this matchup 2 weeks ago. It was a defensive bout. It was a tough game. It was a game that came down to the last few minutes. But Seattle got the win, powered by an elite defensive performance, an absolutely remarkable performance by Leonard Williams, first career touchdown for Kobe Bryant, and just some all-around expert-level play on that side of the ball. You were able to squeeze it out. And even though the offense really did not play that well in that game, even though the offense had problems, I feel like this is a game where we are going to see something a little bit better. I feel like this is going to be a game where the offense isn't going to explode, but you are going to see something a little bit better. Last time, the Cardinals really caught our offense with some really impressive third down blitzes or third down pressure packages even. Not even blitzes. Stack the box, send 4 random players, and we didn't handle it well. We did not handle their pressure packages well. But I look at that Jets game last week where I think we did a much better job against those stacked boxes. And I think to myself, I think we can handle Arizona because Arizona is a team that does not have an individual dominant pass rusher. They don't have a guy who can just go get pressure no matter what. They have guys that are okay. They may not even have probably their best pass rusher this year in Dante Stills. We'll see about that. But they are not a team that can just say, hey, you go get that sack. So if we can stymie their blitz, I think that'll be enough. Before I say any more, though, I want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS. You can head on over there right now and throw down some wagers on all kinds of things related to sports. You can go over to their prop builder right now and bet on all kinds of fun stuff. Which half is going to be the highest scoring half? Which team is going to get to 20 points first? Is it going to be odd or even on the total number of points? Who's going to kick more field goals? Who's going to kick more than one field goal? Who's going to have more first downs? All kinds of cool stuff. Head on over to BetUS. You can bet on basic stuff too. You can bet on money line. You can bet on spreads. You can bet on over-under. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. Use promo code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000, and then a 125% deposit bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. So go get your free money, sign up to BetUS, and get to some sports betting. Right. So, like I said, to me, that's the key to this game. When Arizona comes up in those stacked boxes on passing downs, can you protect the quarterback and make a play down the field? In that first game, that's what we didn't do. That's why we couldn't finish drives. That's why we couldn't get as many points as we should have. That's why the game was dramatic at the end. But that is really, right now, the only thing that I'm super concerned about. I think that, if anything, playing in Arizona helps us. I'm not worried about Arizona's home field advantage. If anything, we might take over that stadium. We usually do. And I'm not worried about playing in a dome. Now, I know that dome has been a little bit of a house of horrors, but realistically, I think that this offense may do better in a dome compared to the open air stadium here in Lumen, or here in Seattle, Lumen in Seattle. So I'm not really worried about that part of it. And I know it's just the one game sample size that we have, McDonald versus Arizona's offense. But I feel really good about this matchup. I do. We've been really good against the run for several games in a row now. And Arizona, they're a team that wants to run the ball. They're a team that wants to protect their quarterback by not throwing the ball more than 25 to 28 times a game. And when they try to do that, when we played them a couple weeks ago, they were so unsuccessful running the ball that they had to abandon it, even though the game was never out of hand. Kyler had to throw the ball a lot in that game and didn't really go anywhere for him. So to me, the Arizona offense is really all about that. They keep things simple. They keep things low volume for Kyler, and he can do well with that. But if you can stop the run, which we certainly did the first time we played them, and you force him to drop back and throw it 35 to 40 times, he's going to make mistakes. He's not going to be efficient, and you're going to have success. We got a lot of good pressure on Kyler in that first game, which is something that has been very hit or miss for the Seahawks over the last couple of months, really. And I think they can do it again. They don't have great receiver talent. They got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's great, but he is a rookie. He's a rookie, and we're not talking about Anquan Bolden here. He's a good rookie, but he's not even the best rookie receiver in the league right now. And they got Trey McBride, who's one of the best tight ends in the league. After that, it's hard to find a guy, right? You got Michael Wilson, who's okay. You got Greg Dortch, who's okay. And after that, you're kind of just reaching around for random guys that they're replacement level. They're not much more than replacement level, maybe not even anything above replacement level. So you force them to throw the ball. They don't really have the receivers to air it out like that. So you force them there, you win. And I just have a good amount of faith that we're going to be able to do that. I think we're going to be able to stop the run, and I think we're going to be able to force Arizona into that very uncomfortable part of their game, where they just need to add another really good receiver in this offseason, I think, so they can keep up a little bit. So, sounds good to me. I like that matchup. So it comes down to the offense. And last time the offense almost failed us, mostly because they left points on the board. They had opportunities to put up points in that game. I think there were multiple situations in that game where they had the ball in or almost in field goal range and took a sack. Can't do that. They did not do a good job handling those stacked boxes. Whenever Arizona was on defense on a passing down, it felt like they could get pressure. But I'm looking at that Jets game last week where the Seahawks faced a team that did some similar things, and they handled it much better. When the Jets, on the rare occasions, admittedly, where the Jets brought pressure, where they brought more than four guys, or brought an unexpected four guys, the Seahawks handled it pretty darn well, I think. And a big part of their comeback in that Jets game was their ability to handle those blitzes. So I'm hoping that that was a sign that they're going to be able to handle things better in this one. So if that happens, I think we're good. We don't know if we're going to have K9. I think that there are a lot of people out there who suspect fairly that we will not have K9 in this game. And if we don't, obviously that brings you down a little bit. But I've said this before, I'll say it again. It sounds like a joke. It's really not. The Seahawks have been so bad running the ball this year. I don't know how much K9 is really going to hurt you by being out. I think that the hurt comes from potentially getting guys you don't trust out there like McIntosh or Helani. Maybe you don't trust those guys to block. Maybe you don't trust those guys to hold up in pass protection. And that's why you never want to put them out there. So if that is what is going on, then that could lead to problems. But again, K9 is not even averaging over 4 yards a carry. K9 is like at what, 3.7 replacement level numbers? Yeah, it's probably better than what any other running back except for Saquon or Derrick Henry could get in this offense, but it still isn't really production. This game, this offense, everything we do still comes down to Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and JSN and the passing game. And I'm sure that's not where the coaches want this team to be right now, but that's the reality we've been in all year. And I'm a little bit over expecting anything different at any point this season anyway. So once again, we're in that position of needing our quarterback to play well in order for us to win. And I mean really well. Like there's going to be, it's really hard to win a game where he doesn't just kind of carry you, but we have the defense now. That's the difference between now and earlier this year. This defense is playing great football. This defense is winning games. This defense is putting the team on its back. So at least Geno has that support. And that would kind of highlight one thing that I want to see from this game. You can play it a little bit safe and just avoid turnovers this time, Geno. Like, you go back to that first Arizona game, the play that sticks out to almost everybody is the interception he threw in the end zone. Seattle's about to basically put that game away. They're in a great spot. They're up 10. They're in the red zone. It's third down. Geno maybe could run for the first down. Maybe he couldn't. But you've got a field goal on lock to go up 13. And he throws it into the end zone. And it gets picked pretty easily. It's a bad throw. He had Lockett. He was just late. If he threw it a second earlier, it's probably a touchdown. And it was the kind of throw that I would expect from a quarterback who has a really bad defense backing him up. If you have a really bad defense backing you up, then you can't kick a field goal. You need to push it and try to get that touchdown. But we don't have that situation anymore. We have a team that can win with 20 points. If we get to 20 points in this game, I feel good about our chances of winning. So just get to 20. And 20 includes field goals. 20 includes punts. You can have failed possessions or disappointing possessions and still get to 20 points. And don't get me wrong, I want more. If the touchdown is there, then the touchdown is there. I'm not saying be scared. We've seen quarterbacks play scared. There are quarterbacks out there that do play scared. I'm not asking for that. But there needs to be some understanding of risk aversion. And with the way this defense is playing, that goes for pretty much every game we play the rest of the way. I understand that in the back of his head, he's probably still thinking about early this season when we had one of the worst defenses in the league and we had to score 35 plus to feel good about winning. Those days are a thing of the past. For the first time in Geno's career, it feels like he has a reliable defense. There were a couple of good moments in 2022 with the defense, a couple good moments in 2023. But right now, it feels like this defense is built to last. Meaning, I feel like they're going to show up every week. Maybe they won't be great every week. But I feel like you can bet on them and feel good about that bet. Even if, on occasion, you may lose it. And Look, if the defense blows this game, then the defense blows this game. That would really surprise me. That would really disappoint me. But don't let it be because you turned it over in the red zone. That's what I'm hoping for. And if all those things come together, I think we win. I feel a little bit better about it than I should. The K9 news should give me pause. And again, I'm not going to pretend that Charbonnet is as good a player as Walker. But I would say I don't think you're going to see a significant drop-off. I just don't. I think that everything kind of comes out even behind this line. So with that being said, I'm going to go with like 23-10. Really trust the defense. I don't totally trust the offense. But at least this time, hopefully, I'll be able to trust the special teams. I'll be able to trust our kick returners and punt returners to not drop the ball. If that happens, then I think we're good. I think the only thing that can really hurt us would be handing easy points to the other team. And that's turnovers, that's special team gaffes, that's that kind of stuff. So avoid that, and I think we're good. I do. Arizona's gone a little bit cold. I know they almost beat Minnesota. You could argue they probably should have beaten Minnesota. But to me, that Arizona team, they were a little bit of a paper tiger. I'm not saying they were completely fraudulent, but you look at some of those early season wins, and I think that you do objectively have to go, well, they're 6-4, but are they a normal 6-4, or are they a lucky 6-4? And you look at some of these games where they win at the buzzer on a field goal. You look at the game where they beat the Niners because Jake Moody got hurt and the Niners couldn't kick at the end of the game. You look at some of that stuff and you're just like, they're pretty good. They do some things nicely. They play hard. They get everything they can out of that team. Huge props to Jonathan Gannon. He's been great for them, but I don't believe this is a very good team. I don't think this is a team that you should be afraid of. I think it's a team that you take seriously. And you look at the matchups, and if you play the way you need to play, you beat, and you get the win. So I'm going with 23-10. Going to be fun. And look, I'm not going to say they'll be dead, but if you win this game, Arizona's kind of out of it at that point. You win this game, Arizona goes to probably less than 10% chance of winning the division, and the odds of them beating you to win the division are so small because of the lead that you take. Once again, I will be live streaming this game on YouTube. YouTube only, by the way. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a very simple, bare bones live stream, but I will be doing it. And hope you guys come hang out. Thank you to BetUS for powering this video. I will see you guys later on. Go Hawks.